We were told the moon was conquered, that mankind had set foot on its surface and claimed victory. But what if we were never meant to be there? For decades, we've been told the truth about the moon, but there's more lurking in the shadow than of our understanding. And tonight, we're connecting the dots. Or at least trying to, because who knows how far this rabbit hole goes. The 1960s was a wild time. They started this, what's called the race to the moon, or this great space race between Russia and the United States to see which one of us could get there the quickest. All right, let's start at the beginning. The moon landings. All right, and the impossible odds that it took to get there. It took every ounce of human ingenuity just to reach the surface of the moon. Or did it? Some say we never made it to the moon, that the images we saw were all faked, and that the moon landing was created in a theater somewhere. What do you think? Do you think it was faked? Do you think we made it to the moon? Make sure you drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. I'll make sure I check and see if we can answer them in another, or respond to them in another show. And some say we never made it, that the images were faked, and the moon landing was just a theatrical performance. Doesn't that sound exciting? Okay, let's break it down. NASA had a huge incentive to win the space race during the Cold War, but it was possible that they cut a few corners to meet the deadline. Consider the details. The flag planted by Neil Armstrong seemed to be waving, but there's no wind on the moon. The lighting in the photos doesn't match the harsh shadows that you would expect with just one light source out in space from the sun. Oh, and the C written on the rock in the photos? Could it have been a prop? A stage rock? Could it be that the greatest achievement in human history was staged for political gain? What do you think? But hold on. Before we go too far down this rabbit hole, let's take a look at the science. The Soviets, who were in a race with the US to land on the moon, tracked Apollo 11 and verified the mission. And don't forget, there are over 800 pounds of lunar rocks here on Earth, which have been studied by scientists worldwide, confirming that they didn't come from anywhere else but the moon. But the question remains, did we really land, or was it a carefully crafted story? Alright, so one of my favorite topics about the moon is when we talk about the dark side of the moon and the mysterious structures that have been reported there. What's hidden on the other side of the lunar rock? The side of the lunar rock that we never see. Some say there are structures, alien or human-made, that have been photographed, and NASA has done everything to avoid explaining them. Buildings? Pyramids? Or maybe even something a little more unsettling. In 1968, Apollo 18 astronauts saw the far side of the moon for the first time. And what did they report? That it was eerily quiet. No radio signals, no way to communicate with Earth, and some believe that there may be structures buried under the moon's surface, visible only through high resolution satellite imagery. All right, now let's take a look at some of these images of the moon's surface taken by the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter in the 2000s. All right, now for some of the crazy theories about the moon. Like maybe the one about the reptilian race that lives on the moon and harvests human souls. Okay? Now, what if a reptilian race has been living on the moon for millennia? Not just lurking in the shadows, but watching us, feeding on our emotions, harvesting our souls, and sending us back into new lives to keep the cycle going forever. Maybe the moon is their giant emotional energy farm. All right. I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a science fiction movie. But hear me out. There's a theory that the moon isn't just a lifeless rock. All right. It's been described as a base or portal for an ancient reptilian species. The idea goes back to ancient cultures, such as the Sumerians, who talked about a race of reptilian gods called the Anunnaki. Some modern theorists believe that these beings have been manipulating humans for centuries, feeding off our energy and even reincarnating our souls to maintain control over us and continue to harvest the energies from our negative emotions. Now, there's a lot of speculation about the energies that they feed on. Apparently, all of our emotions, good and bad, can give off energies that they thrive on. However, our negative emotions, whenever war breaks out and there's chaos and famine and human misery, these seem to be the most nutritious forms of energy for the reptilian species. Now, I don't know how all you feel, but for me, the thought that there's one species out there that is manipulating all the chaos in our lives just to cause pain so that they can feed off of it is quite disturbing, especially since allegedly it's not just one time around. They're going to scoop us up and send us right back so we can do it all again so they can get another scoop out of us. That is very disturbing. Is it crazy? Maybe. But the connection between the ancient mythologies and modern alien theories is fascinating. Could it be that the moon holds the key to understanding our spiritual cycle? Are our souls being harvested to fuel some ancient hidden agenda? Keep an open mind, because this one takes us deep into the unknown. Alright, now, sticking with the super weird and unexplainable parts of the moon, there's the hollow moon theory. And this is one of my favorites. I love it. Now, some believe that the moon isn't even a solid object. By placing seismographs on the moon and crashing some of our early landers into it, we were able to take readings of what it sounded like when something smashed into the moon. And to everyone's surprise, the moon rang like a bell for hours. And that's not just a quirk, it's a sign that maybe we're looking at something that's not of this world. A giant artificial satellite has been placed here to watch us, to control us. In 1969, Apollo 12 intentionally dropped a lunar module onto the moon's surface. The result? The moon rang for over an hour like a bell. Some scientists said this was due to the moon's crust being hollow, or at least partially hollow. Could the moon be an artificial satellite? A piece of technology placed in orbit around the Earth by an advanced civilization? The possibility that the moon is hollow isn't just science fiction. NASA's seismic data leaves room for speculation. And as for the time without the moon, well, ancient texts from various cultures talk about the moon appearing at different times. In Hindu texts, it's said that the moon was created by the gods as a celestial object. Could there have been a time when the moon wasn't here? Could something or someone have placed it in our sky to serve a greater purpose? Okay, maybe I'm reaching a little, but what if? What if the truth is even stranger? The moon has been watching us for millennia, but the real question is, who's watching from the moon? Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. I'll check them out, get some feedback from y'all, whether you liked it or you didn't. Let me know so I know which way I'm going. All right? We'll see you again next time. Thanks.